Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Demon Slayer as I need to brush my hair. I don't know what's up with my hair today, but it's poofing out like crazy. Anyway, last time around we had Mist Hashira Muichiro Tokito, where Tokito defeated the upper 5 demon and got good, started taking it seriously, beat him, and that was pretty much that. Everything was good. It cut back to Tanjiro, who wasn't doing good. But then Mitsuri showed up, and now she's going to take on Earth Card Dragon Demon Drum Man thing, hook, door. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Demon Slayer. Here we go. Alrighty, well there we go, we got our answer. By eating, what was it, like 170 Sakura things, turned her hair pink. Alright, fair enough. Okay. A funny thing? I just saw the other day on Twitter, or X, if you want to call it that, but nobody does. But I just saw this the other day on Twitter. Someone was talking about strong women in anime, and I mean like physically strong, and they were talking about how they wish that they were drawn with muscle, and the main example was Mitsuri, and there's a part of me that does kind of agree. The other example was Yor from Spy Family. At least with the two of them, I don't know, they're not, at the very least they're not sticks. They're not sticks. They're pretty curvy, so, but like I guess I kind of get it, like that. It would be kind of cool. It would be pretty cool. One thing I do love about that tweet though is just all the replies were just everyone giving examples of muscular women in anime and in manga. It was just really interesting to watch. Anyway. But that's our explanation. And it's interesting, too, because, like, you could almost see, like, I guess there's only 2 female Hashira, aren't there? It's interesting having, because we have 2 female Hashira. One of them is described to be super strong. The other isn't, Shinobu is not super strong. I mean, she's good, she's quick, she's fast, She has Hashira level power, but, she can't decapitate a demon, And I like that there is kind of a distinction between those two. That it's like, well, Shinobu, she can't, decapitate a demon, so she goes for the poison route. But she is still a Hashira, She is still an incredibly powerful woman, And I like with Mitsuri, it's like, well, let's go the other way. I'm like, no. She is ridiculously strong, Hell, she's probably strong among the Hashira too, And if I were to guess, just based on, even though it probably isn't the most, like, concrete thing to go on what Uzui said, where he basically says, he's like the least talented of the Hashira. Of course he's saying that mainly because, he believes that the other Hashira are just better than him. It's self-deprecating. But at the same time, you do kind of think like, well, I mean, if that's true, which it probably is that among the Hashira, he may just be the lowest of the Hashira, self-deprecating or not, if we just take it at his word, it's like, man, how strong is Mitsuri, How strong is Mitsuri? I mean, it's, again, and we're not going to go into power scaling, we talked about that too much last episode, but, I don't know, it kind of makes you wonder like, with the entertainment district, like, if any other Hashira was there fighting Gyutaro, would it have gone differently than how it did with Uzui, you know? But we don't know. Well, we won't know. And someone told me in the comments, because it's not really explained, that when a person gets a mark, it is kind of like a power boost, you know? I don't really know the specifics, like the math or anything, but it is, if they have that, they have a boost in power. So Tanjiro gets that, and his power is increased. And, you know, with now, the other two people we've seen with these marks are Hashira, and both of them, so they're Hashira, which is already ridiculously strong. Now let's see them get even stronger, you know? Which is great. So I like that. But yeah, but we got Mitsuri's backstory, which now it makes sense why she would be looking for a husband with the Demon Slayer Corps, because A, maybe she's looking for someone stronger than her, you know, someone who won't be weirded out by her strength, or B, it's not even that, it's just she wants to find someone weird, you know? I mean, someone who, even if they are weaker than her, someone who doesn't care, basically, you know? Because so many... now look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've just been absolutely head over heels for Mitsuri the whole time we've known her. I haven't, you know? Like, when we're first introduced to all the Hashira, and we have our two female Hashira, I have to be honest that Shinobu was more appealing to me, you know? The strength, though, is never something that would have crossed my mind, you know? Like let's all put ourselves in here. Let's all put ourselves into Demon Slayer for a minute. We'll be Demon Slayer X male reader, or female reader if you're watching this. So, you know, join along with us, especially in the comments. Let's put ourselves into Demon Slayer for a second. If I was in there, I don't think the strength would really be a factor for me, you know? Like, if there is a woman that is stronger than me, that's fine. I mean, now maybe, I don't know, because look at me, I'm a bit of a large gentleman, but I don't know, it wouldn't bother me, you know? But see, again, it's like, it's honestly, it's the personalities that are the difference between Shinobu and Mitsuri for me. To where I would be like, well, and I mean, and Shinobu's also just terrifying. I mean, that first episode we had her, that was the scariest thing on earth, her killing that demon, you know? But at the same time, it's like, well, but I do kind of like her, you know? It's like, okay, I also like her color scheme. The colors, you know, the darker, the more black and purple, and, you know, the dark blue, I do kind of prefer that, you know? Mitsuri, I am not the biggest fan of pink, and she is a ridiculously bubbly and energetic girl, and not always, you know, I guess not always my waifu of choice, you know? Like, okay, if we talk about waifus, let's take this to a different show where I think a good comparison can be. Let's talk like Sailor Moon. She reminds me of Sailor Moon herself, you know? Maybe a bit more competent than Sailor Moon was, and I say this as a person who loves Sailor Moon, but look, my waifu was always Sailor Mercury, and Shinobu kind of leans more towards that. Like, Mitsuri leans more towards Sailor Moon herself, you know? This energetic, kind of ditzy girl, you know? So, that said, I mean, it's kind of a thing of... It's just so weird to, like, be talking about all of this, but it is a thing of, like, you know, get to know her, you know, because we've gotten to know her over a couple episodes, and I've enjoyed her, you know? And it's the same, you could kind of say the same thing with Shinobu. It's like, well, over a few episodes, I realized that she's not just going to murder me in my sleep, you know? Her eyes aren't just going to crawl out and eat me, you know? So, yeah, I mean, there's that, you know? You gotta get to know... Which, I mean, that's also a thing in Demon Slayers, all these characters where I pass judgment so quickly, and then I'm like, well, then we get to know them, you know? Snake Man is now one of them. It's like, oh, he seems to be nice. He was just kind of a dick back then, you know? Or I'm sure the same will happen with... I'm sure the same thing will happen with Genya's brother. We'll get to know him. The same thing happened with Genya, you know? Where initially I was like, I hate this guy. He sucks. And then this arc is like, well, that's over. So... But yeah, but like the guy, like the first guy that rejected Mitsuri. So what was his complaint? The complaint first off was she's ridiculously strong, you know. And they kind of went into this in one of the after credits things earlier, where it's like, oh, you know, did we talk about this? Now that I think about it, I think we talked about this, you know. Like, probably just a little bit, and I think I asked the same question. Would you be okay with a woman who was ridiculously stronger than you, you know? But I think because they talked about it, it's like, oh, you're ridiculously strong, you know, you have weird hair, you know, you eat so much food, you know? But, I don't know, there's not really a problem for me. It would be a thing... Like, it would be a thing if I was one of the gentleman suitors for Mitsuri. It would be a thing of, like... it would be a thing of I want to get to know her, basically, you know? And I feel like if you got to know her, then, yeah, I think I could be down, you know? But I don't know. This is a weird thing to think about. But yeah, it's interesting, and then after that, you know... After that, she started to hide who she really was, you know? She dyed her hair, she stopped eating so much, you know, she hid her strength, pretended to be weak, and it's like, that's just not you. But I love, you know, the master being like, you know, fuck all of that. Be who you want to be. And I like, you know, just immediately it's like, oh, can't I be myself and, you know, help people and stuff? And it's like, well, you know a certain group of people who could use a really, really strong person like you, you know? So it is one of those things where it's like, you know what? I wouldn't necessarily go for Mitsuri first. You get to know her. She's an alright gal. She'd be fun. She'd make sure you're well fed, I'll tell you that much. Because as much as that girl eats... I guarantee she would make sure you are fed nicely. Hopefully you don't overeat, though. Like, don't get in an eating competition with Mitsuri. You'll fucking die. Anyway. So that was interesting. And I did also like the moment where the snake boy gave her socks. It's just basically just cover your legs. Your legs, they're too much. Like, if you look directly at them, you'll go blind, you know? They're just too much. They're too exposed and they're way too thick, you know? Which it's interesting that she seems to be the only demon slayer, I guess, with a skirt. Well, no. Kanao had a skirt, doesn't she? Yeah, Shinobu just has the normal outfit, I think, but Kanao has a skirt, I think. But Mitsuri also has a skirt, and it's just, you gotta have something on. And I also like that thing of, like, you know, you don't have to treasure it. You know, if it gets ripped, then just tell me and I'll get you another pair, you know? It's, like, it doesn't have to be something crazy special, but it's just something he's doing for her, you know? So I like that. Other than the rest of the stuff this episode, good fights. Good fights and whipping action, you know? They do mention that, it's possible that these marks are from a demon's crest, which is interesting. Excuse me. Hatata. And then we had the gang going after the main body, and Genya eating the tree in order to gain more power, which was interesting. So yeah, I like that. And then we did... Alright, so I actually was glad after last episode where I was like, oh yeah, we didn't get the backstory on painting Sperm Man, and I was like, you know what, that's fine. We don't need it. We don't friggin' need it. Like, we don't need every demon's backstory, definitely. But it looks like we're gonna get that with Upper 4, which is like, okay, whatever. I'm not fully gonna care, because he sucks, and I don't know. But still interesting, and I like that Genya just chucked a tree at him. That was fun. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, would you go for a girl like Mitsuri? I think most people are just gonna say yes, but yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, she's not my type per se. She could be. I could get to know her and enjoy her company. So, and have some good food. So she can out eat a sumo wrestler. It's fucking crazy. Anywho, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Demon Slayer reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.